And we are live. Welcome, mystery and thriller fans. I'm your on-air host, author Sara DiVello, and I am so excited to welcome tonight Amina Akhtar here to give us the inside scoop on her brand new book out tomorrow, Almost Surely Dead. Amina, tell us about this book.
This book is like nothing you've probably read before. I don't know. People kept saying that to me, and I was like, I don't get it. But now I get it. I totally get it. It's about a woman who is leading a very boring life in New York. She's a pharmacist. She does not have the glamorous fashion world. No offense to pharmacists. I love you. God knows you keep me functional. But all of a sudden, a man tries to push her in front of the subway train. And then she survives that. And she's thinking, what just happened? And as we're going through, more people are trying to kill her. And strange things are happening in her life. And we know that she disappears because there's a podcast in the future that's looking for her.
Well, we have a lot to talk about. We're talking stalkers. We're talking thrillers. We're talking podcasts. We're talking true crime podcasts. We have a lot to get into, and I can't wait to get into every delicious detail. Renee is saying bizarre.
Oh,
indeed.
Renee, you just wait.
Girl. Get ready. Get that seatbelt on.
Yeah.
It's a crazy ride. And I can't wait to get into every delicious detail of it. So, friends, if you love mysteries and thrillers, you are here in the right place. We are live on 6 different destinations across Facebook and YouTube. So no matter where you're watching from, you're in the right place. This is the right time. It is Mystery Monday. And because Mondays can be murder, we're going to make them a little less painful for you and get your week off to a killer start. So if you're new here, welcome. And here's how you can participate. Just get your questions going in the comments and I'll get them right over to Amina. This is it's a mystery and thriller Mavens is like Vegas. What happens on Mavens stays on Mavens. So get those questions going.
I love it.
Yay. Karen, welcome to the conversation, saying the caption brought me here. I was hooked. Karen, just wait. We're going to hook you good. Julie, welcome to the conversation, joining us from Facebook. She wants to know, she's getting right into it, Amina. Have you had a real life experience with jinns? And for those who haven't read the book yet, because it's not out till tomorrow, tell us what a jinn is.
It's out Thursday. Thursday.
Thank you.
Thursday. So a jinn is an entity that is neither. It's not a demon. It's not an angel. It's a whole different classification. Has free will. And in a lot of cultures, especially Muslim cultures, jinn are very prominent in our folklore. And yes, Julie, I have had an experience with jinn. My family on my father's side, had jinn that were supposed to go down the family line. It was his great-great-grandfather. And so my dad grew up with jinn in his house, and there was one room that no one could go into. It was the jinn's room, right? So he was the only one who could go in there without getting slapped around. So he would just like slide all his toys on in there, right? Because that's how my dad works. He's very pragmatic. My experience with the jinn was trying to find the jinn because I knew they were supposed to be bequeathed down the bloodline, and they weren't. So I was curious, where's this jinn? So one time, and in the fashion world, which is my background, there's always, all these really cool astrologers and tarot readers around, right? It's a weird fashion thing. Like they're really, really into it. And there was a fashion shaman, and Harper's Bazaar wrote her up. And I was like, listen, I don't know what this woman's doing, but I got to go see her. And I go, she's got this huge loft in Tribeca. There's this white lady. She was very nice, but I was just like, I have no idea what to expect. I told her, I just want you to find my jinn. I don't want you to get rid of it. I just want to know, is it around? Does it know I'm here? Is it going to say hi? That's that. And so she's doing the whole thing. She's got the rattle. She's spitting alcohol on me, like the whole thing. And, I'm on a massage table about 6 feet away from her at one point. So she's not even touching me. There's no way she could even reach me. She's against the wall. And all of a sudden it was like something was sitting on me. And I was just staring at her like, the heck just happened? And she's literally going like this because something was trying to choke her. And it felt like it wasn't like forever. It was maybe like 5 seconds of us just staring at each other like, what is happening? And it stopped, and she was like, I found it and it did not like that. I was like, oh no, oh my god. So I'm kind of hoping this book will be my apology to the Jinn for having you show up at the Tribeca Ladies Loft. I'm sorry about that. And hopefully it'll be my love letter to the Jinn.
But Amina, why are you apologizing to the Jinn? The Jinn
Because
keep
I
apologizing.
don't know what she did. And I mean, that thing was mad. I was just like, this is not normal. Like literally, it felt like having a whole, like if being were sitting on my chest, you know, just heavy. And I was like, this is the weirdest thing. So yes, I have had Jinn experience. My father has had a lot of Jinn experience. I think most people I know from Pakistani people I know, not all, I'm not going to, say that everyone does it, but most that I know do absolutely believe that Jinn are real.
But if the Jinn was sitting on you, squashing you, choking her, did it occur to you that maybe you have a bad one?
I don't think they're good or bad. I think I think maybe it was just annoyed. Like, who is this person?
Did you ask her to ask?
She was done. She was like, I'm done. No, she was like, you have to leave. And I was like, that's fair. I didn't mean for my family entity to choke you. I apologize. Yes.
But you never found out why it was mad.
No, I don't know if it's necessarily mad, but just I felt like, why did you summon me? Like, leave me alone. So after that, I didn't. And then after you see the fashion shaman, by the way, your whole life is supposed to turn upside down. And I was like, okay, my whole life turned upside down. That was literally right before my mom got sick, right before I lost my job, right before I started writing. So basically, it took a few years for me to get to the point where I was now writing. And it all started at the shaman's loft in Tribeca.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Let me ask you this, Amina. Julie, thank you for the great question. Amina, if you knew then what you know now, that your life was going to get turned upside down, would you still go back? And
yeah,
you would. Okay. Yeah.
Because I love my life now. Like it's complete 180. It's so much more fun than it was, back when I went to her. So yeah.
Would you go again?
No. Oh God, no. I'm done, guys. I'm good. I'm gonna just hang out here for a while. I'm good. No. But if anybody wants her information, I can find it for you.
Okay. If anyone is not too terrified, I'm in camp terrified over here. But if anyone else is a braver soul than me, DM Amina and get her fashion shaman contact information in Tribeca, New York City, and get ready for your life to be turned
and buckle up. Just buckle up.
Yeah. Oh my God. Renee says she thinks this sounds exciting. Okay. Renee is in team excitement. Renee, if you do
we're winning her over.
Karen is saying, I have already added it to my TBR, my TV Red list. Yay, Karen. Renee saying she added it to her list too. Oh my God. Yes, we just heard about Amina's experience with the Jinn. I am still thinking about it. I'll be processing it for a while. Okay, Renee wants to know, Amina, is this your first novel?
No, my first novel is called #FashionVictim, wherein I murdered every single person I've ever worked with in the fashion industry. It was very cathartic. It was after the shaman, and I just had a lot to get out. And God bless my former coworkers. I murdered them all in this book, and it was really, really fun to write.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And tell us about your second book. Tell us about
my second. So then after I wrote that first one, I ended up moving to just outside Sedona, Arizona where my father lives, because he's in his 90s and he's by himself. And I was like, I need to set a murder here because there's so much open space to hide a body, you guys. Like, it's just like desert. So I wrote Kismet, which takes on the wellness, because Sedona is very woo-woo, crystals, wellness. And it really, the animals that are out here have a starring role, and it's definitely an interesting and funny read, especially if you indulge in the wellness stuff. I think we all do. It makes you laugh at it a little bit.
And you post a lot about the animals in their starring roles, specifically the wild boar.
Javelinas.
Tell us about the javelinas.
Those are javelinas. So they're mostly in Arizona. I've read that they can be in New Mexico and Texas, but I've never seen them there. And I grew up at West Texas, so I'm not sure. But they're basically these mean, stinky pig-like animals who invade everywhere. And here's the thing, I literally live in a national forest. Like the land we're on is part of it. So it's not like I'm on a paved, suburb or anything. It's a dirt road. I'm really, really out on a mountain. This is their home. Yeah, so this is their home. So I feel like we have to coexist. And so I put birdseed out because I love my birds. And I'm getting to that age where you just love to bird watch. I don't know what happens to us in midlife. Yeah, I love it. Same. And yeah, love me some birds. And the javelinas kept coming and stealing the seed. And I would put it up higher and on a tray, and they would just smash the trays. And finally I was like, okay, I give up. Have your bird seed. All right, you win. And now they have 2 babies that have shown up, 2 tiny little adorable piggies.
Your godson.
I call them my godchildren, the baby murder pigs. They're adorable, but they're very mean.
Our author Raquel Burns is in the house.
Hi, Raquel. Hey, girl.
She is so invested in the javelina drama and in Bean.
There's Bean.
Tell us about Bean.
Bean is like, hi, Bean. Hi.
Oh my God.
Bean is always literally right next to me because she's my stalker, but I love her.
We have a mystery user, very on brand, a mystery friend dropping in, mysteriously anonymous, saying javelinas are terrifying. Don't make a mom javelina angry.
Oh yeah, you can't. They are very protective of their babies. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We try to not be outside the same time they are.
Oh my God. Okay. We have Melissa joining us from Australia. Good day, Melissa. She says, hi, Sara and Amina.
Hi.
Julie saying Kismet was such an amazing book.
Thank you, Julie.
Renee saying, as long as Jin doesn't hurt my boys, I'm okay with that. Okay, braver than us. Renee, braver than us. Y'all, I am so excited to tell you that Amina's newest book, Almost Surely Dead, is out Thursday. It drops Thursday. And here is the link to pre-order. So no matter where you're watching from on Facebook or YouTube, click and get your mitts, your hooves, your cloven hooves on this book right here. And the good folks at Murder by the Book, our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore in Houston, Texas, will send you your copy Thursday morning. So here is that link to pre-order.
I love Murder by the Books.
They are the best. Randy,
my brother just moved to right by Houston, and I'm like, I can go visit you and do an event. So I'm like just kind of figuring out my schedule, and then I'm gonna beg them to let me come hang out with them for a while.
Fabulous. Randy's joining us from YouTube. He says, hi, Sara and Amina. Hi, Randy.
Hi.
Thanks for tuning in. Renee wants to know, how big are the javelinas? Yeah. Are we talking like monster pigs?
No, they're not like giant 500 pounders. They're like 50, 60 pounds.
Okay.
But you're out walking your dog and you come across a herd of them. It's like, oh my God, what do I do? You just sort of freeze. And Beanie, God bless her, she just doesn't even notice them. So she's just like, la la la, hi, I'm walking, leave me alone. And it's like, oh, please don't kill my dog.
You're getting so many hearts on Facebook. You guys are so good. I love javelinas too. And when I
love them. I just like they
really
live
cute.
Here. Yeah, they and the coyotes, they live here. This is our land. We have to coexist, and let them hang.
Karen wants to know, are there any authors you would love to collaborate with? Such a great question.
So many. But first of all, I don't know how people do that. And I'm fascinated by when people do like multiple authors. So I want to do that. Obviously, Alex Segura, Kelly Garrett, and Liz Little, my group, my squad, I would absolutely love to do anything with them. Also, obviously, with Caroline Kepnes, who's just like one of the most fabulous people on the planet. I would love to do a murder serial killer with her because it would just be hilarious and amazing.
Quite a list there. Raquel would like to know, did you learn anything surprising while researching your book? Cool question.
Yes, I did. So I wanted to, I always felt like I wasn't this-y enough to tell this kind of a story because I'm not very religious and stuff. And you always kind of feel on the outside sometimes with some cultures if you're not all that into it. So I started doing a lot of academic research as well. Like what don't I know, because I know our stories from my family, but like everyone is going to have different stories. So what I found is that they predate the Abrahamic religions. So they are not technically a
Ooh.
Muslim creation. There are Jewish jinn. There are
Ooh.
jinn that are, some of the older gods that people may have worshipped could have been jinn. The one thought that I read that blew my mind is that fairies are a type of jinn. Not all jinn are fairies, but all fairies are actually like within this jinn classification. And I thought that was fascinating because it's like every culture has these things, right? Every culture has fairies, they'll have something else. And what if that is all overarching jinn?
So,
I know, right?
wait, so fairies are a type of jinn.
Yeah, because they're different types.
Ooh.
The word ghoul is a type of jinn, and that's where you get the word ghoul from. Depending on your translation, Satan was a jinn, and sometimes he's not. It just really depends on who's doing the translation of things. So there's a lot of, I think, different. I don't want to say creatures, but I don't have a better word for it, that we all have in various folklore around the world that could, in theory, be that they are actually jinn.
Fascinating. I am learning
Yeah.
so much right now. Okay, let's get down. Renee has a question. Amina, why is your book dropping Thursday instead of a Tuesday? Great question.
I don't know. I have zero say on that. That is entirely an Amazon Mindy's Book Studio decision, and I just go along with everything because that's how it works when you're a writer.
I actually do have the answer. So,
oh, you do? Okay, good.
Hello, all-knowing DiVello over here reporting.
Yeah.
So Renee, the way that it works is that when a book is so Amina's book is published by Mindy's Book Studio. Yes, Mindy as in Mindy Kaling. This is a very exclusive, only the third book that Mindy has published. So huge, amazing, incredible lineup here. And when a book is picked for AFR, which is Amazon First Reads, they only pick 10 books out of all of the books that are published, 10 books to be in AFR. And when a book is selected for the honor of Amazon First Reads, it comes out on the first of the next month, no matter what day of the week it is. So while books traditionally come out on a Tuesday, and the reason that books traditionally come out on a Tuesday is because that is the day that gives them the best chance to hit the New York Times bestseller list, a decision that was made 100 years ago. When they have been included as an Amazon First Reads pick, they come out on the first of the next month, regardless.
You do know everything. Yeah. That's amazing.
I'm a dork.
I did not know all them. I love it. I love dorks.
Thank you. Renee, thank you for that great question. Robin, welcome to the conversation, joining us from Facebook. She said, my friend Scarlett lives in Carefree. Okay, I need to live in Carefree mentally. Yeah. Just above Scottsdale, Arizona, and she sees families of javelinas on her property. She thinks they're cool, but certainly mean.
Yes. Look, they don't want anything to do with us, which is fine. But they will, like, you can't put pumpkins out because they're going to smash your pumpkins. Like, literally, they do that. But they are, they're like our pigeons, I guess. Like New York has pigeons, we have javelinas. What are you going to do?
The pigeons of Arizona.
And I actually love them. Like, I appreciate how ornery and grumpy they are. Like, I get it, but I kind of love them.
If I was on their PR campaign, I would brand them as the pigeons of Arizona.
Pigeons of Arizona, guys.
Murder by the Bug saying Alex Segura, Kelly Garrett, Liz Little, Carolyn Kepnes. That is a star-powered list of potential collaborators. Absolutely. Renee saying, what about Sara? Yeah, Amina. What about Sara?
I don't know anything. Can we get our Broadway murder crossing?
Broadway murder. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Right. I've only been to 2 Broadway shows, and I was forced to go to them for like advertising stuff. So I've seen Evita and Sister Act, and that was about it.
Fabulous. Mm-hmm. Renee says she just found 2 different fairy books as she plows through her library purge. Oh my God, I love fairy books. Mm-hmm. Renee saying, amazing.
I love me the fairy, man. The fairy, I respect that mythology and lore, and I hope they're part jinn. I think that's kind of cool.
Exactly. Renee says, thanks for the explanation, Renee. Anytime.
So the way that jinn come into this is that as she's trying to figure out what's happening to her and why people are killing her, she starts remembering when she was a child. So it's told in 3 timelines. It's just her timeline, the podcast timeline, and when she's 5 and her father died. And we start to realize the reason she's estranged from her mother might be because of Jinn. And so that's where the Jinn have come into this story.
Thank you for that, for that tasty detail. Amina. Robin saying she loves Amazon First Reads. Absolutely. Renee saying she needs to pre-order it. Well, I'm so glad you happened to bring that up, because here is the link. And the really cool thing is this book comes out as a hardcover, as a paperback, as an ebook, and an audiobook. So no matter how you like to read or absorb your books, we have something for everyone. So here again,
and the hardcover has this fun little detail on it, which I am so obsessed with.
Oh my God, you're undressing your book in front of, I didn't undress her. I left her robed.
I did. And the audiobook, oh my, it's fun. They really did such an amazing job because they made it sound like a podcast. And it's a riot. You have to listen to it.
Oh my God, I love it. Leisha joining us from Texas. Hi, Leisha. Thanks for tuning in. Robin says she needs she has a wildlife camera for her friend.
Yes.
I love that. Renee says she's got gators. We've got
gators scare me more than javelinas. So yeah.
Carolina, I'm not sure which one it is saying, is that a Mindy Kaling imprint? Yes, it is. Yes. I'm going to tell us about that.
It's an imprint. So I was originally with Thomas and Mercer, which is, the thriller crime imprint with Amazon. And then with this book, my editor let me know that Mindy really enjoyed it and she wanted it to come out on her imprint, which was a dream come true. Because somebody of like Mindy's caliber, reading my books, I'm like, it is like mind blowing to me.
Oh my God. So cool to have Mindy Kaling not only reading your book,
you're recommending, telling people, doing videos, it's like, you're talking about my book. Whoa.
Publishing your book and then raving about your book, saying that, I'm going to pop this up for all of us to see, that it, quote, kept her up all night. I mean, what a crazy thing that Mindy Kaling is sleep deprived because of you, Amina. It's
listen, I have to warn everyone. I've had a few people tell me they were up all night / had nightmares after reading this. So maybe wait till, an afternoon read, just make it easy on yourselves.
I think that is a fair thing. Here's what Mindy had to say about Amina's book. She said, Almost Surely Dead is a witty, fresh psychological thriller that's part stalker thriller, part ghost story. This book took turns I never saw coming. I was up all night tearing through the pages as the mysterious pieces came together, leading to an explosive conclusion. Explosive indeed. Oh my gosh, we have so many questions. Margaret joining us from the Pacific Northwest saying, oh yay, I love this title right off the bat, and to hear that Mindy Kaling is a publisher. Awesome. Absolutely. Robin says the audiobook sounds very cool. Carolina.
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. Amazon does really good audiobooks. Like they have a good time with it.
Renee wants to know, is the paperback the same size as the hardcover?
The print? I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you. Leisha says that's great. It is both available in print and hardcover. Yeah, because we want something to have everything.
Yeah.
Judy says,
and sometimes you don't want to have a whole hardcover. Like some people prefer paperback, and that's cool.
Julie says, what podcast do you listen to? Because the ones in the book were spot on annoying. Absolutely. Good point.
Oh, Julie. I am not a true crime fan. I'm not. I have listened to some. Like there's a couple that I really enjoy, like the ones that Rabia Chaudhry does or Catherine Townsend, because they actually are helping the people involved, right? They're trying to get closure or, a conviction overruled or what have you. There's a lot of true crime out there, though, that has become questionable. You know what I mean? Like, what is the goal of some of these podcasts? And for some of them, it's not to help the people or the victims or anything else. It's to get a Netflix deal. And you kind of have to be cautious about which ones you're going to listen to after that. So I don't do a lot of true crime. I think I have so much murder in my head that it's probably better if I don't. Yeah.
because the girls in the book maybe do get a Netflix deal and it's not what they want. I don't know. The dream maybe isn't so much. Is it? You gotta be careful what you wish for. As I think.
Exactly. Exactly.
Leisha wants to know who was you talked a minute ago about the different timelines and characters. Who was your hardest character to write about and why?
I think every book has a challenge, you know, like as you're writing, or at least for me, like my first book, the challenge was, do I even know how to write a book? No. So my challenge was like, Amina, just sit down and write. The second book for me was trying to figure out how to get that character of Ronnie, you know, but also working in third person was different. For Dunya, who I love, I wanted to make sure that she was a challenge because you want her to have the arc, that redemptive moment where she, you know, where all of this makes sense and she grows as a person without it being cliched, without it being like, oh yeah, you know. So she was definitely a challenge. I mean, this is not a story that I had mapped out, outlined. You know, I think my editor wished I had, because every time I turned it back in, it was an entirely new book. Which I do, and I do that all the time. And I'm sorry to future editors or and past editors. I am not a plotter, you know, with an outline. I kind of wing it and cross my fingers, and sometimes it takes a while to get that character. So Dunya was definitely a challenge for me because I was like, how am I going to have Jin in this? And how am I going to have her deal with this? And she also sleepwalks. And how am I supposed to show that without it getting a little too weird? And then I decided to lean into the weird and have fun anyways.
Lean into the weird is a hashtag we need to get trending.
Lean into the weird, guys.
Like lean into the weird. Robin says the audiobook sounds so cool. Absolutely sounds very cool. I want to make sure. She says she's not. Karen's not sure if she wants an ebook or an audio version. She says maybe both. Carolina says, as a podcast addict, I'm going to listen to the audiobook.
Yes.
Carolina, thank you for
I think you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy that. I was laughing like in glee when they sent me like snippets. I was like, oh my God, it's so good.
Leisha says, your book sounds so great. I love psychological thrillers. Hooray. Yeah. Margaret says, I'm with you, Amina. I'm not a true crime fan either. I like it fictional. Yeah. LOL.
Yeah, fictional. I like fictional crimes movies and shows, but I don't ever watch like Dateline stuff. Yeah, it's a little vulture-ish.
Yeah, Margaret saying it comes up as vulturous.
Yeah. Well, which we go into in this. So yeah.
Carolina pointing out, but you listen to Rabia Chaudhry, who is still trying to hashtag free Adnan again.
You know, because I feel like there are people who are doing the work, you know, so her work is like, it's not just to get people to listen, but it's get attention to this case and look how far that's gone. I think that you just have to have a motive. You know, what's the motive? Is the motive for you to help bring eyeballs to this, you know, a cold case and get it solved and get maybe the FBI into it? Or is your, you know, do you want your deal, you know? And like, that's when you have to figure it out. Rabia and I actually she did a podcast as well about Jinn. So, and it's called The Hidden Jinn. I highly recommend it. I was definitely on there talking about this book as I was writing it. And she goes into every kind of Jinn lore that you can imagine. It's phenomenal.
Wow. Renee saying John Walsh is back on TV tonight with his son Callahan. Margaret saying so much murder in my head is the pull quote of the day. You're right. That's better than lean into the weird. Thank you, Margaret. That's way better. Robin says she's not a true crime fan either. She doesn't like the glorifying the bad guy, but do I have a misperception? What are your thoughts?
I think it depends. It depends on the story and how it's told. Again, I think that, you know, when you're listening or watching it, ask what is the purpose, like what you know, people are putting this together, what is their motive behind this? You know, if they're legitimately trying to solve a case, great, let's help the victims of the, you know, the families involved, let's get some closure for everybody. But is that really the case? You know, like, is that really what people are doing?
Good questions here. Monica, welcome to the conversation, saying, ooh, this was such a great read.
Thank you.
Leisha saying, thank you so much for answering my questions. Carolina saying current mystery novels are always tricky in the world of cell phone tracking, ghost mythbusters, and DNA evidence. What was your biggest challenges with the modern world of writing this book?
Definitely the cell phone thing is challenging, but also I feel like TV, like procedural crime dramas, have kind of ruined what actually happens. Like the majority of murders are not solved. The majority of police departments are not using this DNA evidence, or it's backlogged. So you have a lot of room to, I don't want to say play, but fictionally, let's say, to play with this, because it's the likelihood of something being solved is slim. Hence, you have true crime podcasts. Although I will say that in my first book, I used a Fitbit to monitor the steps of the killer as she's murdering people, because, let's have technology and have a little bit of fun with it.
I love that. Yeah. In the course of researching my book, I was actually surprised to learn that 30% of murders in the US remain unsolved. So the majority are solved, at least 70%, but 30% do remain unsolved. But we also have to understand that the term solved includes prosecuted. So they may have enough evidence to know who did it, but that's different from having enough evidence to prosecute. And that number rises to as high as 40 to 45%. In predominantly Black urban areas like Houston, but the national average remains at 30%. Robin saying, lean into the weird. I might need to post this on my library door. You should. Oh my God, I love it. And then take a picture and tag us, and then take a picture and tag us.
Lean into the weird, you guys.
This book has earned so much incredible praise from Kirkus, praising Akhtar's ability to.
They were nice. They're never nice.
In levity with the campiness. Thank you for all the hearts up on you guys. With the levity, with the campiness of the podcast. They are not the only ones raving. Publishers Weekly saying Amina Akhtar delivers a surprising and suspenseful ride. This is a winner. And then, of course, there is the incredible praise from other authors. Chuck Wendig deeming this a terrifying mystery and an eerie, addictive thriller from Amina Akhtar. And he is not the only one. Alex Segura saying,
Alex,
almost surely Dead will surprise you in the best way possible and leave you thinking about this magnificent book for a long time. Alex, of course, having just won the LA Times Book Prize. So high praise.
And he will be hosting my book launch on Thursday night. So if you're in New York, you want to come out to PT Knitwear. We're going to be hanging out. We're going to be talking. We're going to be silly.
And for everyone who is not in New York City, you can order the book from our favorite woman-owned independent bookstore, which is, again, Murder by the Book. So no matter where you are watching from, on Facebook or YouTube, here again is that link. So click and pre-order so that you can immerse yourself in this stalker thriller, psychological thriller, ghost story, and then
family saga. It's like all of this in one, because I don't do simple. So that would be too easy.
And then hop over to the Mystery and Thriller Mavens Facebook group, free and open to all, and let us know what you think. Did you see the ending coming? Did you find Dunia? So many questions. Let us know what you think. Y'all, we are out of time. Time flies when you're having fun. Oh, we have a last comment from Renee. She wants to know, did the gin come through on the podcast?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. On Rabia
Chaudhry. On our podcast, like right now, or was it Gin in the
on Rabia Chaudhry's Gin podcast?
Her podcast was about the different lore and talking to different people. It was really, really. It's a really well done, really interesting. I don't think my Gin appeared. I think after the shaman lady, I think the Gin was like, "I'm done with you. Get out."
Amina's Gin is taking a nap. She's resting.
Yeah, I have to sweet talk it somehow, get it back.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Start offering treats. Leisha saying your book looks and sounds so intriguing. Thank you, Leisha.
Thank you.
Yay. Carolina saying Literary Girls Book Club in Houston may want to consider this book. Go to Murder by the Book too. Do you sell audiobooks too? Or should I buy a second copy if you love it? We do sell audiobooks. Thank you for asking. I'll post that link as well. We sell everything. So you can get your pleasure, or you can also get, two of the same kind and gift it to a friend, your choice. Books, I think, always make the best gift. So here is that link.
Always.
For the audio, should you so choose.
And I do need to come out to Houston. So,
And Renee wants to know, what is next, Amina? Perfect note.
I am working on a book that takes on the obsessive wedding culture that we have in South Asian communities, like weddings. But there will be a lot of murder involved. Don't worry. It's one of mine. So, there's going to be bodies everywhere.
Oh my God, I love it. Weddings and murder sounds like our kind of jam. Leisha saying, thank you, Amina and Sara. I really loved this chat. Thank you for joining us, Leisha. Here again is linked to pre-order, the format of your choice. Amina, thank you so much for coming on and have a wonderful
And thank you, everyone, for your wonderful questions. She's so pretty. I like how pretty she is.
I'll be back at the top of the hour with All About Agatha podcaster Kemper Donovan live from LA. Go get a snack, a drink, and come back. I'll see you then.